I mean, okay, like say if you were really filming now, and you get all those, it's disturbing. Anyway, then if you have it up so you can click on it, just you do now, like with bandwidth, you know, what kind you want. Isn't it difficult then for you to shoot if you don't know what you're shooting for?
Basically, you're going to shoot for the highest content possible and let the other people deal with it.
Okay.
You know, that's why the TVs are made with the little black screens. If you want letterbox, you can get letterbox, but you end up with 6 inches of black ahead.
But are you really shooting, I mean, is that wise when you be shooting for the common medium instead?
Depends on what you're shooting for.
Okay.
If you're just documenting stuff and sticking it up on the web, you shoot 4:3, it's not a big deal because most people still have 4:3 TVs. So 2 to 5 years from now, everybody who is anybody is going to have a widescreen TV. And if you don't have a widescreen TV, you know,
The kids will be ostracized.
Yeah.
this is your over-the-shoulder shot. And the over-the-shoulder shot says blah, 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 blah. She's acting, she's reacting, she be going, uh-huh, and then she says, what? But as soon as she starts talking, boom, the camera switches to the other side because we hear her, but what we want is my going, oh my God. You know, it's the reaction shot. It's the reaction shot that tells the story. So you're going to see the over-the-shoulder shot, 1, 2, 3, heartbeat, cuts to the other side. Boom, cuts to wide. Boom, cuts to 2 shot. We have to tell the story within the context of this thing. And that's the high end when you really start, you know, using multiple pieces. Establishing shot. An establishing shot says, where am I? And we have to continue to reaffirm where they are. So 2 shot, talking, boom, wide of kitchen. Boom, back to them having a dialogue. Boom, wide of the kitchen. You know, and every time back and forth, it's gonna use these things to reaffirm. Are they in the classroom? Is the teacher talking? And so on. Okay, these are the type of shots that you'll be practicing on. When we break up into our little groups, we'll practice these things. Okay, now when you're talking to somebody like a real camera person, you would say, pan. Okay, we want to pan this shot. Pan is a particular movement. Panning goes like this. Panning is a side-to-side movement. Okay, we pan. We get everybody. You notice how slow he's doing. That's probably the hardest thing to learn. Is that slower you can go. When I taught high school, the kids who were on some level, well, actually quite this level, considered the special ed kids. And special ed kids, you know, they took their time. It wasn't like they weren't the ADHD. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Those guys I made directors. You know, but the ones that are like, they're getting into everything, you know, and everything. The rest of us, we have to slow that down in order to get it. Okay. Tilt. The second dimension. Up and down. Up and down. Now, one thing you have to notice. Did I say this? Okay, one thing you have to notice is that, let's do zoom. We got zoom. We all know about zoom. Zoom in, zoom out. Okay, now, here's a problem with, he's tilting still. Good, tilt up. She's got the tongue out. Extreme close-up of tongue. Good. So,
what are we making here?
We've got, she's slowly zooming out. You can hardly call it zooming. Is there another word for zooming when you're going slow? Slow zoom. Slower you're zooming. Okay, so the thing you have to remember about any kind of television camera, I don't know about the big high-end Betamaxes and stuff like that, but once you start in on somebody like this, and I'm full tight on this person, when I pull out, I have to tilt down at the same time because the camera is going to open up right in the middle.
All that space.
Okay? And people blow that shot over and over again because if you just come out, all of a sudden you end up with the worst shot in television, which is the bullseye. And that's one person right smack dab in the middle of the screen and not, you know, no tension, no action, no balance inside the screen. The dolly shot, he was talking about the dolly. Sometimes you can put these little things on that. These days, with camera stabilization, you know, you can get the dolly shot. You notice that these people that walk this, you know, I say if there's any kind of practice, do Tai Chi because it's all this. When you really are really in control, you know, you are balanced and you are anticipating where it is you're going to go next, and the smoother you can make that, and some people are going to really get that, other people they don't.
Can I ask a question that might be relevant now, maybe not? You know, when we shoot, we have a tripod, but it's not as good as that one, or at least doesn't look as, you know, sturdy. What would you advise we get?
I'll talk about tripods in a minute, but I bought this for $8 at the local place. It's one of the old camera guys, you know.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like, it's most part of the time you can get by with a monopod. Because most of the time you really, the tripod's good if you want to walk away. But just shooting a monopod or almost anything gives you kind of something to lock in and be stable because of new stabilization technologies. And if you need to put it out, you've got that. But I've got 3 legs, we'll bring it up to here, and this is like it's a piece of junk, and there are garage sales everywhere for $5 these days.
Yeah.
So you don't have to buy in. I don't know. You probably spent. Gene used our crapola stuff for a while. We paid $20, $30 for it, and he went out and said, "I can't handle it." That's the problem with being a pro. It's like I don't care what he's filming. If it goes.
If you're going to do wide angles, or if you're going to do a handheld stuff, best to widen out the lens and then step into the shot. In other words, step up to the person. Usually if you're catching them, you got to be at least 10 feet close enough for the light to work, if you have one, and the mic to work. If you get way out here, my voice is... I'm standing right...
Max.
Right, so
Optimally,
wider lens, that way there. If you go in tight, I could show you, because I have, being as old as I am, I sometimes have a tendency, you can notice how hard this is to hold, right? That moving is me breathing or, now if I come out a little bit. And the other thing is if the person's moving, if they're moving or you're moving the camera, then you're not going to pick it up. Unless you tilt it, unless you come up like a shot like this. Now Jack likes to shoot a lot like this, because his stuff is on that little screen.
So shoot. That's our trademark is this tilted camera.
Yeah.
We're talking about this and we're on
But the wider you come out, and the closer you get with it, the less it looks like what it is, which is handheld.
Okay, well that's great, thank you.
Okay, dolly shot. Camera moves with. Okay, basically you can see that a lot. Person's walking down the street. For some reason, the camera is right there with them. They're just dollying right along. Okay, the helicopter shot. Yeah, sure, everybody wants to work this into the video someplace. It's all continuity. You only had a $20,000 hour helicopter, and you could do what they did at the beginning of Shawshank Redemption, where they got a camera mounted on the bottom, and all of a sudden you're flying in, swoop it, zooming at the same time, it comes out the other side, it's like, oh my God, shot to die for. But for most of us, we don't have that luxury.